My name is JT, and this is a story about how I built my homestead. Hey guys, so this is a specialty episode for JT time, and I have a lot of hobbies outside of working on the house, so this is actually one of my biggest hobbies. It's charcuterie. So what you're looking at here is a ribeye roast, bone in, that I just picked up from my local grocery store. It's on sale, so I figured I'd try something new. I do a lot of dry aging protein and dry aging meat. I've done very exotic stuff like dry aging ribeye for over 100 days. I recently finished dry aging pork chop for 100 days. I make my own sausage. I love meat. I really enjoy meat. Essentially what I'm doing here that's kind of unique with this piece of meat, since it's a little cheaper and I just wanted to try something new, is I'm going to dry age it like you would a prosciutto. So first step to this is just pretty much putting it in a bag and pouring and filling it with salt. And I'm going to go ahead and fill this up with some kosher salt. This is my second box. I'm going to put in a third box, and then we'll put it in the fridge and let it sit there for about, the rule of thumb is a day for every 2 pounds. So this is about 10 pounds. So I'll see you guys in about 5 days, all right? See you soon. Hi guys, welcome back. It's been 5 days now, and the ribeye is looking nice and hopefully cured. Ended up using about 3 pounds of, no, more than 3 pounds actually. I guess I used 3 boxes of 3 pounds, so 9 pounds of salt. So this is pretty heavy. I rotated it through the process of curing it every 2 days. It's been about 5 days now. So let's go ahead and take this bad boy out of this salt cure, and let's take a look to see what it looks like. So we really just need to wash all this salt off of it. I'm just going to throw away this salt. They recommend never reusing any of the salt cures for future cures. So it is kind of a waste, but you know, it is what it is. All in the process of learning, right? So I'm trying my best to not have to take all this salt out of the bag, because then I gotta worry about picking it up out of the sink after I wash it off. Normally after you wash the salt off, they say, with prosciutto at least, you can rinse it with a white wine, but you know, I ain't that fancy, so we're just gonna use plain old tap water. You know, plus I don't even know if this is gonna come out good, so I don't want to waste white wine on it just to see if I can make it sweeter, right? Here we go. That's what it looks like right there. Looks kind of gross, but you know, let's take a look once I rinse it all off completely with cold water. Oh, my dog is a little bit whining because the bedroom door is closed. All right, look at this. All right, here we go. This is kind of what it looks like right here. You can see it's kind of indented right here from being dried out. Definitely changed. We started out with 10.5 pounds. I'm gonna go ahead and weigh it out to see how much it weighs now as the starting weight. And typically you wanna let it out and dry for about 30% of its weight is gone, pretty much, is kind of the general rule of thumb. I'm probably going to take this guy to maybe 60 days, maybe a little bit more, we'll see. But what I need to do now is I need to dry out this exterior layer before I go ahead and put the prosciutto in, or the lard flour mixture in. We're gluten-free in this house, so I'm probably going to use maybe a coconut flour, something a little on the sweeter side, just because I don't want to I don't want to use a gluten-based flour or anything like that, even though it's just going to be for the shell on the outside. So let's go and weigh this guy and see what happens. Alright, so I did weigh this bad boy. We started out at 10.5 pounds or 10 pounds, 8 ounces. We're now at 4.9 pounds. So that's a little bit of a reduction for sure, which is expected in the Kier. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this in my refrigerator, let it dry out and kind of solidify the outside, remove some of the moisture, and then I'll probably lather it up with the Proscuitto, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, in maybe about a week or so. All right, so stay tuned, guys. We'll see how it looks in a week. Hey guys, welcome back. So it's been 7 days now, and the ribeyes are pretty much, or the ribeye rack is pretty much ready to be lathered with the Proscuitto kind of mixture. So I'm going to show you guys how that's done. I got, let's see here, there's coconut flour here, there's lard here, and then there's pepper. I'm just giving it a shot. Usually you only need equal parts, some kind of flour and some kind of oil, which I'm just going to use pork lard or lard or rendered pork fat pretty much, just because I have it on hand. So let's take a look at the steak real quick. All right, boom. So this is what the steak looks like. This is my aging fridge that I have. Let's go ahead and take these hooks off. I don't have very much aging in there in general, but let's go ahead and take a look at this. All right. So, boom. I'm gonna go ahead and tilt the camera down a little bit. All right, that's better. All right, cool. So, let me close the door real quick. You don't want to wake up the baby. So yeah, this looks very different from the way it looks usually when I dry age ribeye myself. It's definitely a lot darker, especially for only being in the fridge for about a week. But it looks pretty dried out, which is kind of what I was shooting for. I wanted all the moisture pulled out of it before I put the lard on. So that's where we're at right now with it. It's definitely, you can see it's definitely concaved a lot, so I'm probably gonna lose a little bit of this, but let's go ahead and make our little mixture. We'll leave the hooks here because I'm gonna go ahead and hang it, which will be nice. And let's go ahead and do the mixture. This is about a cup of coconut flour. We don't do gluten here, so I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can pour this in ever so carefully. Very nice. One. It's half a cup. Let's go ahead and do another half. There we go. Alright, it's about a cup right there. Alright. Very nice. Like I'm making cake batter, huh? All right, that's looking pretty good right there. So add in a little bit of pepper. It probably won't absorb this, to be honest. This is really only meant to preserve the exterior as much as it can. And being that it's lard, I'm hoping that this is dry enough that it doesn't cause any issues with it. But this is pretty cold, so this should get pretty solid as I get it on there. Alright. Let's get that down there. Yep, that's Looking pretty good right there. Okay. Get that on right there. Drizzle that on. Drizzle this on as well. Yep, there we go. Looking pretty good. Getting that in right there. Alright. Let's tilt that over on its side. Push that in. Yep. I'm starting to think I should have made a little bit more. I didn't think I would need this much, but it's looking like I may need more than this. Yeah, you can see the code temperatures of the steak is definitely. Now normally when you dry age, I dry age at about 39 degrees Fahrenheit. But when you actually cure a piece of meat like this, they say in the books you can actually cure this at a much higher temperature. Typically prosciutto you cure like at 55, maybe even 60 degrees, which is much higher than usual. You know, FDA and food code is pretty sensitive about that kind of stuff. I think they're pretty strict, and unless you can really work with, if you're trying to sell this stuff, you know, I do it as a hobby, you got to be really careful with the regulatory beings pretty much to make sure that they're in line with what you're allowed and not allowed to do. I think if I'm not an expert at it by any means, I'm not saying that I am, but I would say just work with them, not against them. I learned that the hard way with the whole house situation. So anytime there's a regulatory body involved, I would definitely recommend calling them ahead of time. Just ask them about it, get their advice on what you should and shouldn't do, and you know, most of the time they'll steer you the best way they can without, you know, without breaking any kind of barriers between consumer and regulatory, you know. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's like a shell. It's so pretty. So pretty. You know, and I'm not gonna worry about, I'm only worried about the exposed meat portion. Like this portion of the steak, you're not going to be able to eat a lot of that anyways, which is why I'm not honing in on that to cover it up as much as kind of the surrounding meat. But man, look at that. It's so pretty. It's very pretty. It looks so much prettier than a typical dry aged steak, let's say. Man, I think I'm going to take a picture of this. I'm so happy with the way that looks. Alright. This side has some stuff that could be lost right here. Okay, so I went ahead and made another 3/4 lard, 3/4 coconut flour, and pepper prosciutto, and I'm still probably not pronouncing that correctly. And just went ahead and covered up the rest of the protein area. This little part in the back of the roast has bones in it, so I don't see a reason to cover that up. But I did want to cover this portion right here, which was a lot of exposed meat for the roast, and I really didn't want to waste that portion of it. So, all right, let's go ahead and do this side a little bit more. since we're already here anyways, and cover that up. Cover this up right here. And I think we're done, guys. Let's go ahead and take a picture of it. I'll take a picture of it hanging in the fridge. I think that's better. Looks like I put gravy all over this. Hopefully this comes out good. It could come out really, really bad, but I'm gonna leave it in the fridge maybe for. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. My best guess right now, based on my own experiences, I'll probably leave it in there maybe 60 days, maybe 90 days. I don't know yet. I don't know what the magic number is, especially because this is something completely new that I haven't done before. So let's try 90 and see what it tastes like. I want to go a little longer than usual with this, only because oh man, I hope that was, dang it. I want to go a little bit longer with it this time, only because a lot of times when you don't expose the meat and it's shielded by this kind of lard, you end up, it's almost like wet aging it. You know, you don't get that funkiness that you typically would get with a nice dry age kind of setup. So I do enjoy that funky flavor. So let's do that. All right, that looks good. Looks good. Looks very pretty. Go ahead and hang this bad boy up. All right, here we go. We'll see y'all in 90 days. All right, guys, we're back here. 154 days. This is what the steak looks like. It's pretty good now. Let me go ahead and slice into it and show you guys what it looks like. I'll be right back. Okay, alright guys, so I think we have a success. That's 154 days, dry aged. The steak looks really, really good. A lot of aging over here on the sides. You can see that the fat cap that I made successfully kept the I guess the cap of the ribeye in pretty good condition, to be honest. And as far as the smell goes, it smells good. Doesn't really have the funky smell, so we'll see what it tastes like. So let me go ahead and finish processing this. I'll slice it up and I'll let you know what it tastes like. Alright guys, so a couple of notes that I want to mention before I actually cook one. I got one small piece in the oven, but in general, this little area right here, there was a bit of mold growth here that I had to cut away. So there was a piece of fat here that I needed to remove because I ended up, I don't want to eat any of that mold. It's like a black kind of mold or bluish kind of mold. So I got rid of that, and then I also cleaned out the exterior, which also had some mold as well. So I would be careful about the exterior and do some good work trimming the exterior just to make sure that you don't end up having any mold on your meat. But overall, the retention of meat is great. I didn't lose very much of it at all, and I think I'm looking forward to this. I did have a little piece of raw meat on the exterior, and man, that tastes like prosciutto. It's crazy. So we'll see what the steak tastes like in a little bit. All right, see you in a little bit. All right guys, so welcome back here. I'll have to show you guys how I cooked my steak in another video, but for now I went ahead and just cooked up the steak. It's right here. Let me show it to you. So pretty much It's had like maybe 5 minutes to rest already, so let me go ahead and slice right into it. A few notes that I did was that I did not salt it. You saw in the previous videos that I did salt cure this, so the meat is already a little bit on the salty side. So I do want to like just do pure pepper on the outside, and I just seared it using my grill outside. So I didn't do anything else to it because I really want to taste the meat. So let me go ahead and mount my camera on my little shoulder mount and slice right into this, and I'll let you know how it tastes. Okay, so I think you guys have a good view there. I'm going to slice right into it. Let's take the bone off. No, I'm not going to eat this entire thing, so I'm just going to slice into half of it. And then what I'll do is I'll slice a little piece of it. So let's look at the cook first. It's about a medium rare. The meat does look a little bit different in general just because it's I used the reverse sear method. In addition to that, it's cured using the prosciutto technique, so the texture of the meat just looks different than normal. But let me go ahead and just slice off a little piece here, and let's give it a shot. I'm hoping for the best. I usually don't let people taste my experiments unless I think it's good, so bon appetit. Alright, so let me flip the camera around. Okay, so first impressions. Definitely salty. Not in like a terrible way. The texture of the meat is different. It's not like a steak texture anymore. It's a different kind of texture. I don't know how to explain it. I imagine if we cooked prosciutto like a steak, it might taste like this. Is it bad? Not really. It's different. It's kind of an acquired taste, I guess is probably the best way to put it. Let me eat a piece in the middle, not on the exterior, and let me see if it's still that kind of salty taste that I'm getting from the outside. Yeah, it's different. It's not. It's tender, kind of like you would expect from a dry age, but it's just saltier than I'm used to enjoying my steak at. So this is the exterior portion of the steak as well, so it doesn't matter if I cut in the middle of the steak right here or I cut around the outer edges, because this piece or this side of the face of the steak was actually on the exterior, so that part did touch most of the cure as well. So that might be one of the reasons why this is saltier in general. Will I give this to my friends? Probably not. I don't think I will. It doesn't meet my expectations of something that I would like to share. Is it unique? It's definitely unique. I'm almost tempted to taste it raw just to see if it tastes like a prosciutto or something of that nature, just to see, because I did slice a piece off of it when I was prepping it, and it did taste like prosciutto. So that's different. But yeah, not a bad experiment in general. Kind of tasty, still salty. I think that's what I'm having difficulty overcoming that. But in general, very, very tender. You see? The meat just kind of tears apart really, really easily, which is really awesome. And it tastes like prosciutto, but do you want prosciutto like a steak? I don't know. I really don't know if I do or if I don't. But, you know, I didn't like prosciutto when I first tried it. I didn't like dry-aged steak when I first tried it. And now I love dry-aged steak and I love prosciutto, so I figured, you know, this would taste amazing. So maybe this will grow on me too. So I'll do another video, a separate video, kind of talking about it a little bit more on the taste and everything like that. Maybe do a separate video on the other pieces of steak, the ones closer to the middle, and maybe those will be phenomenal. But for now, this is different. You know, that's part of learning and part of doing something new, right? So that's it for me, guys. Let me go ahead and enjoy this dinner, and I'll catch you guys. I'm sorry. Next time on the show. So see y'all real soon here on JT Time.